How you doing, guys? Today we're going to talk about the blower cover for the Lil Mule project. So if you remember when I built my Lil Mule, the 857, and I put the big block Magnum 10 on there, I had to modify the Magnum 10 blower cover to fit underneath the hood of the 857. And I'm going to show you a real quick clip right now of why it had to be done. The 857, which I built the Lil Mule out of, is considered a wheel horse short frame, and it originally came with a K181 Kohler motor. Unlike the long frame version of these tractors, which my 1056 is, and you can just see by the length of the hood that the frame is definitely longer, they were designed to have the bigger K-series motors starting from the 10 horsepower going up to 12 for 1966. And they also had another hood difference. If you look at the 857, it's bolted right to the front, or the mount for the hood is right on the front of the frame. While the long frame has this riser, so to speak, off the front of the frame, this piece right here. Because the hood on the long frame from here to here is exactly the same as a short frame, there to there. But in order to get the larger motor, the 10 to 12s, they had to raise that hood up. Obviously they raised up the hood stand also, so that way it was level, because they ran the deep sump oil pan on the bigger motors just to have more oil capacity, and plus that's the way the K-series came. In order to get it, a big block, I guess you would call it, the 10 to 16 horse K-series or even the Magnum, onto a short frame, what I learned was you got to use one of the K-series style thin oil pans from, Wheel Horse had them on a couple models, and then John Deere's and Cub Cadets, I guess, also had these thin oil pans. And the other thing that is needed to be done is the blower cover needs to be modified if you run a Magnum. It has to be tipped back, kind of like an old K-series, in order to fit under the front edge or the side edge of the hood. And I'll show you that right now. And that's how the Lil Mule's always been. The blower cover came up and then curled under the hood edge, so that way it all fit nice and clean. You've got to have the room for the magneto or the coil. On the long frame, because of the hood riser, it's not needed. You can run a standard Magnum big block blower cover under the hood without any modification. Although it is close, I mean, you probably could get maybe 2 or 3 playing cards between the hood and the blower cover, but it will fit. So let's take a look at the blower cover that I had on the 857. At the end of the day, I think I did a pretty good job. But the one thing that always kind of bothered me is it always looked a little lumpy bumpy. You can see I had body filler here, and I brush painted the top of the welds so that way I could keep that old patina look. And although it really looked good, or I felt happy with the way it looked when I had this Magnum 10 motor on it, because I'm going a different direction, I'm gonna, obviously I'm building the 16 horsepower motor for this tractor. I am going to change the color of the motor. I want to paint the motor red so it looks a little bit more like the original K-series motor that would have been on it. And in order to do that, I need to basically sandblast and strip this blower cover down. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel and build another one or make another one. So I want to kind of fix the lumpy bumpiness of this one in order to make it a little bit nicer, so it'll be a little bit less body filler in the welds. And if I have to hit it with the welder to fill in a few spots, that's what I'm going to do. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm just hitting it with a file, coarse file, just to kind of remember or locate where the low spots are, the high spots are. You can see there's a low spot here, so I'm filing this down. And then I'm going to try to file this all down to get it fairly smooth. If I need to hit it with the welder, I will. The welds are kind of chunky in the back, so I'm going to try to get that all fixed up and cleaned up. That way, when I have this done, I just put a little skin coat of, Bondo on it, a little bit of cheese, block it out. It'll be real smooth, easy, and it'll look the way I want it to look, which is nice and nice and straight. I never had a problem with the Bondo with the heat of the motor, and this motor definitely did get hot a few times, so I'm not worried about that. So let me get the filing, and we'll get this thing pretty much stripped down, and we'll take a look at what we got. So after some filing and hammering, I'm working out the low spots. And you can see I got this fairly good, and it feels nice. It's got like a whole different sheen because of all the filing and sanding, but it's coming along. And as you can tell, there's a low spot right here, so I'm going to work that out. And I'm kind of moving across this section first, then I'll get the corner done again, and then I'll come across the top, and hopefully it'll be close enough where I won't need as much body filler. I mean, I'm going to have these little areas right here that are going to need to be touched up, but I'll skin this entire area across the top here, and then I'll block it out. But it should really end up being just a light coat of body filler on top of that. I did start coming down the side here. We'll get this straightened out because this was all lumpy bumpy, and this is actually feeling really good. And I'm just kind of going between hammering and filing. And I just got this piece of steel, and yes, I'm using a ball peen hammer at times. I know the real true body guys are probably going, holy, but it works for me. I do have my body hammer, but every once in a while I like to get that end into one of these corners, and I just find it easier for me. All right, I'm going to keep on going, and hopefully the next time this will be pretty much all fixed up and looking purty. Well, there you go. It's going to need, obviously, a little coat of body filler around the edges and along the top, and then probably down this edge. Maybe a little bit in this area. It seems like there's a faint low spot in a few spots. But overall, I think it came out pretty darn good. I probably didn't do it this smooth when I did the Lil Mule the first time because I spent a good 3-4 hours on this today in order to get it. I would say this is probably 90 to 95% straight. It's in really, really nice shape. And just for comparison purposes, there's a square top Magnum blower cover. So basically, I took a square top blower cover, Magnum blower cover, and turned it into a pseudo K-series blower cover. Came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. The first shot when I did this, when I built that blower cover a number of years ago, I thought I did a great job. I was really happy with it. But now that I've reworked it and straightened it out, which I should have done back in the day, I just didn't. I'm much, much happier with it now. I'll get it. I'm going to bring it over to my buddy's place maybe in another week or two. Get it sandblasted, get it primed, or etch primed, I should say, and then I'll put a little bit of filler on it. And then we'll just paint it, and it's going to look a lot better. All right, guys, Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching my videos. If you found this interesting or this kind of work interesting, please subscribe. I'd much appreciate that. You guys have a great day.